The Audi A3 is one of the best premium hatchbacks on the market. I mean, it's smart, it's desirable, and it's as easy to live with as a VW Golf, but then that's not too surprising because they're pretty much the same car underneath. But where it matters, the A3 is sufficiently different enough to warrant its higher price. I mean, look at it. It looks so super sharp. And inside the A3, I mean, it may be smaller, but it has a similar feeling of luxury that you get on an A8 limousine. I mean, the materials, they feel like 50% more solid than in other brands of cars, and I have to say the design is pretty peerless. I mean, some of the buttons are clear VW Group stuff, but other ones have that little bit of Audi flair to them, which makes them feel a little bit more special. This is the 5-door Sportback version of the A3, and as well as the extra practicality of its rear doors, it has an ever so slightly larger boot than the 3-door, but whichever model you go for, both have decent load space. However, the Sportback gets an extra rear quarter light, which makes it easier when pulling out at tricky junctions, like this. Once you're underway though, both A3s feel, well, they feel identical really. And that means they're super refined and, you know, they almost whisper quiet, even at higher motorway speeds. And they're comfortable too, although if you prefer your suspension to feel a little bit firmer, you can get it with a sportier setting. You can actually get certain models as well with grippy quattro 4-wheel drive, but regardless, the A3, I mean, it handles well, whether you're on a sweeping A road or a twisty back route such as this. Being a VW Group car, there is of course a wide range of engines to choose from. This one has the 1.6 litre diesel, which incidentally has stop-start technology, and it's refined, it's punchy, and of course it's very economical. However, I say avoid the 1.6 litre petrol if you can, because it does feel a little bit weedy. As for the downsides, well, maybe the steering, it's a little bit numb, so ultimately the A3 isn't quite as exciting to drive as a BMW 1 Series is. If you come with me into the back, I'll show you some other negatives. I'm not going to claim it's small here in the back of the A3, because it certainly isn't, especially not in this 5-door Sportback version, because it's slightly longer than the 3-door. I mean, look, there's absolutely tons of leg room. The problem is with the headroom. I mean, I'm 5'10" and my head is almost touching the roof, and that means it does feel a little bit more claustrophobic inside than, say, a Ford Focus. Another problem I have is that there's hardly any stowage solutions here in the back, which kind of impairs practicality somewhat. And because you can't fold out the rear seat squabs when you put the seat backs down, they kind of stick up, which would make this car a little bit more awkward to carry flat pack furniture in. And finally, there's no getting away from the fact that for a car of this size, the A3 is rather expensive, but then it will hold its value very well come resale time. And that's because it's just so desirable, really. I mean, there's something about it, isn't there, that makes you just want one.